following contest is scheduled
Welcome
for
back to the
one
Pro
fall.
Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Special guest on the line. There are wrestlers, and then there are legends. And
there's wrestling legends.
And there's wrestling legends. And right now on the line is a wrestling legend. It is the Iron Shiek. Sheik, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time this evening. It was great to see you on TV a couple of nights ago.
Well, hold on, Frank. He's back where he belongs on Monday Night Raw.
They should call it the Monday Night Sheik Show.
Sheiky Night Raw, as far as I'm concerned.
It was great to see you on Monday Night Raw. You look fantastic. Tell us about how everything got set up for that on Raw for you Monday night.
Well, all intelligent, my wrestling fans around the world know I belong to the Monday Raw because everybody know I make the Hulk Hogan to be Hulk Mania 27 years ago, which is they invite me for anniversary, December 26, Madison Square Garden, New York. Everybody know. It was not from WWF or WWE and Iron Shiek and Hulk Hogan. It was nobody. I make the Hulk Hogan to be wrestling Hulkamania and most popular than Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan. Everybody know about that. I was a champion before Mr. Hulk Hogan. That's because they invite me over there to ask me how I feel, and I want to say to all my wrestling fans around the world, WWE or WWF and Mr. Kennedy McMahon make the Hulk Hogan to be Hulkamania. Now all of a sudden he left the WWF or WWE to different company. He was like gold digger, and I didn't have any respect for Kenny Man because I'm a Muslim, I'm a religious man. The hand fit me, I don't bite that hand. That's because Kennedy McMahon didn't forget about Iron Shiek. They invite me to the Hershey, Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania people know the Iron Shiek, especially Bruno Sammartino, and one of the greatest living legends. And it was great feeling to Mr. McMahon. Didn't forget about me. They invite me to the Hershey, Pennsylvania.
So, Sheiky baby, what was it like to be back in the ring with Nikolai Volkov, the Russian national anthem, just doing your thing? That that got you so much heat over the years through all the different arenas all over the world. For one more time, Nikolai and Sheik back together. How was that for you?
Like I said, it was a great feeling to the Nicola and myself. We go in the ring again, do the national anthem. But people know I'm not against America. I love America.
Right.
And especially in Midwest, since I started Minnesota, University of Minnesota, and Dan Chandler, Dan Gable, everybody know about Iron Shiek. And I burn Iran, but I made it America. I'm not politician, but Nicola wants to do the nationalism anthem with another Russian man, and I didn't have any choice, and I'll go with them. But the people know I'm really Iranian, but I made it in New York, Madison Square Garden, and Kennedy McMahon Company, WWE, number one company in the world, which is Hulk Hogan or Kurt Angle, wherever they go, still they're number two. But number one in the company in the world is WWE. Do I'm right, sir?
Absolutely. Sheik, right now, the WWE is going through a complete youth movement, and obviously wrestling has changed a lot over the last 10, 15, 20 years. When you were back in the locker room and you see how these new younger stars are, what was your impression of these guys? Well,
new generation, don't get me wrong, they are different timing and different technique, different soap opera, but the new generation, they're good for today's generation. But for some reason, wrestling fans around the world, they like the old-timer, and I don't want to put myself over, but everybody know 1970, 80, and all old-timer was great. Anywhere we go, sold out, everywhere business was excellent. But also new generation today, they work hard, different atmosphere, different technique, and I leave it to the people to decide that.
Right.
When you showed up on Monday night, did you have an opportunity to speak to Vincent Kennedy McMahon at all? And if you did, what did you tell him?
As a matter of fact, I speak to Kennedy McMahon. He gave me a good welcome, and Johnny Ace, and all the young generation, John Cena, Johnny Ace, Bob Orton, and Hot Rod, Roddy Piper, and Dusty Rhodes. I mean, everybody was good, and I really enjoyed that atmosphere, and I was very happy to Kennedy McMahon come to me and say, Sheik, you're a good performer, you're a good talker, and that was great feeling today. Kennedy McMahon talked to me like that. As a matter of fact, I talked to him 5 minutes, and we had a good conversation, and he mentioned about 80, I was a champ when Mr. Wargania offered me money to break the Hulk Hogan leg, take the belt to the Minnesota. Mr. Kennedy McMahon tell that story to the George Animal of Steel in the locker room. That was very impressed for me. That was very pleasure for me too. He didn't forget about it, and he mentioned and put me. There was great feeling to tell the story about the old days, and Mr. Gania, my coach, and Hulk Hogan, Madison Square Garden, talked to the Animal, George Animal Steel about that. I had a great feeling.
You know, a lot of people say that Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan made wrestling what it is today. But really, you know, if you really think about it, Sheik, if it wasn't for you doing business the right way, if you would have broken Hulk Hogan's leg, there would have been no Hulkamania, and everything as we know it could be very well different.
Absolutely, because that day was a big competition in between Midwest and the South and NWA, AWA. All was a big challenge with the WWF. But WWF, the cable go around the world and beat all of them. And before was the number one, and it still is the number one.
You know, Sheik, back, I believe it was WrestleMania 6 or WrestleMania 7, where you were actually aligned with Sheik Adnan El-Casey and Sergeant Slaughter during, you know, the Gulf War. What was it like for you during that time when, you know, the hate towards, you know, the Arab countries, you know, of Iraq and Iran was just so big? What was it like for you being out there in the spotlight like that?
Well, it was a pleasure for me. Like I said, my gimmick or my issue was natural because I speak Farsi, Nikolai speak Russian, and General Adnan speak Arabic, and it was a perfect timing, perfect issue. But like I said, I didn't involve with the politician too much. I grew up with the freestyle, Greco-Roman. That's because my team in Midwest Minnesota and Greco-Roman was the 5 years AAU champion. I grew up with the toughest sport in the world, freestyle and Greco-Roman. That was a natural issue because General Adnan was from Baghdad and Nicola was from Russia, and myself and Sergeant Slaughter. That was just an excellent issue, and it was natural and believable. That's because people respected old-timer wrestler because it was a real believable and natural.
You know, Sheik, back when you first broke in, it was completely different. You know, you started out training with Vern Gagne, and then you were part of the ring crew where you would drive the ring truck around, you'd set the ring up, tear the ring down, you'd also do double duty as a referee. A lot of the kids today, they go down to the developmental, and they're just like in a camp. But, you know, what was it like for you? Were you literally driving the ring truck from town to town back before you became, you know, the Iron Shiek and then eventually the world champion? What was that like?
Well, absolutely right. After 5-6 gold medal, AAU champion, and Mr. Gagne gave me the ring truck. I drive the ring truck from Minneapolis to Milwaukee and Chicago and Denver, Colorado, wherever, Vancouver, and Duluth, 20 below zero. But I know there's someday going to be change. And even he charged me 10% of my money. I make $75 a week or $100 a week. I have to give Mr. Gagne 10% of my money. And that's because, I didn't forget that days. Now I'm the Big Apple, and I'm a champion. My average is in between $10,000 to $15,000 a week. And Mr. Gagnon told me, Khosrow, give me a favor. I'm your coach. Break his leg, take the belt, come to Minnesota. I take you $100,000, whatever, $1 million. It didn't matter. But the day I was down, and after Munich Olympic Games 72, I come to Minneapolis, and in Champotero, Ric Flair, myself, we started in the maybe with Mr. Burungania, and Mr. Gagnon tell me, drive the truck, put on the ring, pick up the ring, and as a matter of fact, in the Milwaukee, I had a good helper, Jimmy, and he helped me. So anyway, I'll make the long story short. I pay for my due. 20 below zero, I drive the truck, up into the ring, pick up the ring, referee, wrestling, because I know there's something going to be changed, which is changed for me. Today, Kennedy McMahon called me, I've been to Big Apple, everything changed. So anyway, because I was not, I don't want to give up. I don't want to refuse to, I'm not going to drive the truck. And I did, and 1 year, and after that, everything changed, and God helped me because I was believe myself. I worked very hard, and that time I was killing. I get married to the Minnesota woman, and I left coast to coast all over the world, trying to make it to Big Apple. Finally, my time come to be WWF champion.
We're speaking with the Iron Sheik on the Pro Wrestling Report, 540 ESPN, ESPNMilwaukee.com. Sheik, if a younger wrestler would come to you today and say, I'd like to get into professional wrestling, what tips or anything that you would give him or her going into wrestling today?
Well, wrestling is a young man or young woman sport. As long as they're young, as long as they're in good shape, as long as they want it, as long as they're hungry like I was, and then they're going to make it. Because Michael Jordan didn't last forever. Right. Muhammad Ali didn't last forever. Same as Iron Shiek or Michael Jackson. We're not going to last forever. But I want to say wrestling is the toughest sport in the Olympic. Mr. David Hero, he knows I play for my due. He knows I've been with Dan Gable, Danny Hodge, Carol Gosh, and our greatest. I grew up with them. But I recommend them, the young generation, if they want to be good, wrestling is the toughest sport in the Olympic, one-on-one individual, and they have to practice 3 times a week, all year round, and then they can be a good freestyle wrestler or Greco-Roman wrestler, and then make it easy to go pro, because they already have that wrestling background. Right. Wrestling is a beautiful sport and toughest sport, because Michael Jordan, Terry Bradshaw, football, whatever, they are a team sport. But wrestling, Greco-Roman, freestyle, one-on-one, that's because all my Minnesota boys, and Larry Ryden, Dan Chandler, John Peterson, Ben Peterson, I'll train all of them. They made it to be the best. And if they want to be a good wrestler, they have to practice 3 times a week, all year round, and then they're going to make it.
Got it. Sheik, most people know that, of course, that that you're from Iran, but more people don't know that you used to be a bodyguard of the Shah. So, for a young Iron Sheik coming over from Iran, the former bodyguard of the Shah, what was going through your mind when you're sitting there in Madison Square Garden defeating Bob Backlund, who was one of the greatest champions of all time, and there you are sitting in the locker room with the WWF World Championship belt?
Like I said, it was a great feeling. I was the first Middle Eastern I come to America, and I come AAU champion, and then Minnesota Wrestling Club, 5 years AAU champion. And then wrestling is my life. The only game I did, the only sport I had freestyle and Greco-Roman. Even I was a Shah of Iran, and Farah Pahlavi, or Muhammad Reza Shah Pahlavi bodyguard, because they know this. I'm one of the top wrestlers in the world. That's why I had that job. So I made it to the Big Apple. Now I'm Big Apple. With the Kennedy McMahon, Mr. Gagnon told me, break his leg, take the belt, come to Minnesota. But the hand fit me. I cannot bite that hand.
Right.
That's because I talked to Sergeant Slaughter, talked to my wife. I said, my coach called me. I'm in the middle. I don't know what should I do. For 100,000, doesn't matter. Even you give me 100 million, Mr. McMahon, take care of me, and I'll let the Mr. McMahon go and know before I go in the ring. And also his thing. They hug me, they kiss me, they say, Sheik, you have a job as long as we live. And I appreciate that you didn't break the Hulk Hogan leg, take the belt to the Minnesota. So, I mean, I can tell you all night the story about my background. I hope somebody write a book about me, which is...
You should write a book.
One of these days, maybe, again, one more time, I'll be national television.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Iron Sheik, Frank, is going to be in Milwaukee on Saturday night. He's going to be at the Dinner and Destruction for NWA Midwest. It's at the Tripoli Shrine Temple on 30th and Wisconsin. Iron Sheik is going to be there with Baron Von Raschke.
Excellent. 2
living legends, 2 Hall of Famers. For more ticket information, go to pwcrush.com. That's the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, pwcrush.com. And Iron Sheik, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you Saturday. Going to get a little fattoush, a little falafel, some hummus, maybe find a hookah somewhere, and, you know, just get some more of these Iron Sheik stories out there, and, you know, we'll work on that book.
Thank you, Mr. David Herrera. Thank you guys invited me to the Milwaukee because the kosher good friend of mine, God bless him, he passed away, and he was from Milwaukee. I used to drive with him from Minneapolis to Milwaukee. He told me a lot of story. And Dick Bruiser, kosher. I feel like I'm going to come home one more time. And thanks to the promoter, David Herrera, invite me, and I look forward to see you guys Saturday. Thanks for calling me.
Very good. Thank you, Sheik.
It was an honor speaking with you. We'll see you this weekend. Thank you very much.
God bless you, and I want to say hello to all my wrestling friends in the Milwaukee. I look forward to see them Saturday, and pleasure for me to come back one more time to the Midwest again. God bless you guys, and have a good night.
Thank you, Sheik.